So here we are, you can see kind of in the middle of our weeding operation. This is a spot where we have gone through and we pulled some of the grass out in the row. You can see we're kind of using it to mulch in the row, so hopefully that stuff's going to wilt down, and if we don't get a rain here, it won't replant itself too bad. So the strategy is to just kind of keep the rows clean by hand. And here's a little shot of what we're up against. Some of the foxtail and stuff in the past few days with this heat and rain just exploded. So we got quite a bit of work ahead of us, but not anything we can't overcome. So we're here busy cleaning it up, spending all summer making sure we have just a fantastic certified organic crop. Overall, I think the plants look pretty good. You can see some height variability in them. There's also a little bit of disease coming around that truthfully I'm educating myself on a little bit. Here's one here that it looks like it's just not doing good, and I'm going to want to keep real good real close eyes on ones like this, because you can see I think now there could be a lot going on here. Could be waterlogged, maybe iron deficiency, but I do know that when the top growth up here starts to show signs of disease or stress, that's a pretty good sign that the pathogen or the disease, whatever it's suffering from, is pretty much systemic and it is down right to the root. So this one might have to be pulled up and kind of rogued out of the row, even though it's 1.5 feet, 2 feet tall. I'm tempted to let it go. And I will let it go for a little while longer until I'm able to get some consultation, but I'm kind of prepping myself to come out and do some real serious quality control here, just to protect the investment in the neighborhood. Here's another example. This one never really got started, just kind of stunted. Maybe it was root bound in the tray. When I saw ones like this, I thought it was all right because the new growth is green, so I thought it would push out of it and maybe put a little a little bud on there. But one thing to remember is that this one is going to attract pests and disease and not be able to fight against those as well as a healthy plant. So it might serve as a liability for the neighborhood and get some of its neighbors sick. So that's just something I'm learning about now. I don't really have those answers, but just out here today doing a field check and kind of walking around. Some of these things, it's just amazing how fast they grew. I can't believe it. Just every day they get bigger and bigger. You can see the drip tape is down. That's all been done. I've only needed to use it once. I'm sure in August I'll get my money's worth, but for now it was a lot of work and I haven't really needed it. Not only because I'm not watering it at the moment, but also because I'm doing foliar applications of our nutrient package for the moment. I know that there's good moisture underneath this soil, so those tap roots are going to go down there, or they are down there, and they're getting what they need. So with the amount of rainfall we've been getting, I just have not felt the need to keep those watered, and they seem to be fine. And see, here's a spot where it just all of a sudden really picks up, and just the soil biology, the combination of events and factors just really worked in this section here. So this is what I like to see. Aside from not watering with the drip tape, I've been foliar applying our nutrients to get some of those beneficial bacteria and mycorrhizal fungi right on the leaf in order to protect that plant from pathogens and other environmental stressors. So just kind of giving the crops a nice coat of some beneficial bacteria and nutrients. Foliar is the plan now, and then once it dries out and I need to put water, I'll inject that stuff through the drip tape and get it right down to the root. But for now, with all the wet weather we've been having, I didn't want to overwater them. I didn't want to get them sick. It's a sandy lights farm. That's why we chose this farm. But nevertheless, with just all the rain we've getting pounded with, I was worried about it getting sick. So I switched to foliar applications. Here's a little example of an anomaly I've been told that this is actually just genetic and is really just a genetic expression and isn't too much of a concern. It'll probably grow out of it. But this is exactly the type of thing where you just need to get your eyes kind of down on each plant and really kind of dig down and figure out what's going on. So obviously when I saw a couple like this first time around, there was a little concern because it doesn't look right. But as far as I know, and from what I've been told, this is just kind of a genetic expression that is fairly benign. And I would say it's on less than 0.5% of the plants. A couple of these other ones though look really good. I mean, there's just, some of these have a nice deep green color, very healthy looking. I'm not seeing too much insect pressure. I am seeing some Japanese beetles, and I did note that they seem to like the velvet leaf more than the hemp. So I've kind of made the decision that if I see some velvet leaf here or there, I'm gonna just leave it because it seems like those beetles really like that. And so that's just one little thing I've learned. I could be wrong on that, I don't know, but it seems like the pest pressure is fairly minimal. So here I am, this is on the lower half of the field. This was the last acre we planted. So these have been in the ground just a little over a month, and they've gotten wet feet. So this is kind of where the condition had dropped off a little bit. The quality's not quite there. You can see they're a little stunted. But you know, the real reason I wanted to show you this area was because of this little guy here. Just want to make sure you can see it. So this is a dead hemp plant, and the reason I want to show it to you is because, you know, there's just so much talk about the versatility of this crop and what it can do and what its uses can be used for and stuff. And I think that this might really drive it home. The tensile strength on the fiber of this crop is incredibly strong, and you would think that, you know, a dried little stem like that would just be crispy and dried up and die. But if you watch me try to pick it, it's actually the stem itself is very tough. It's almost like it's just you can just feel the tensile strength. You gotta really push to get it to rip it. Just kind of interesting how strong that stalk is. I don't know, just something I took notice of. I saw one over there that was dead. I pulled it out half expecting, like any other crop, that it would just snap off, and the whole thing pulled right out. So just a little factoid on the strength of the fiber. Keeping the nutrients pumped to it and keeping things rolling here is the game plan through the end of about August, and then we'll look and see what happens during flowering stage. I got a couple ideas as to how I might be able to eke out a little bit more yield that maybe we'll cover when we get there. So today, just a little crop check. Things look pretty good.